Hi, my name is Simone and I'm the Zen Mommy. I help people with spiritual awakening and navigating your ascension. And today we're going to go with our next chapter with peace in every step. This chapter is titled Nourishing Awareness in Each Moment. Before I read, I want to thank everyone for joining me. And if you're new to my channel and you resonate with what you see, please press like and the bell button will notify you of my next video. I'm outside. I'm trying to change my scenery up. The sun is back out again, and I'm trying to get back to my nature self. So I'm going to make more of an effort to get outside to do some of these videos. This is actually my little backyard, of which I'm growing my garden, what I told you guys about. I'll be showing you guys soon. All right. Nourishing awareness in each moment. One cold winter evening, I returned home from a walk in the hills, and I found that all the doors and windows in my hermitage had blown open. When I had left earlier, I hadn't secured them, and the cold wind had blown through the house, opened the windows, and scattered the papers from my desk all over the room. Immediately, I closed the doors and windows, lit the lamp, picked up the papers, and arranged them neatly on the desk. Then I started a fire in the fireplace, and as soon the crackling logs brought warmth back into the room. Sometimes in a crowd, we feel tired, cold, lonely. We may wish to withdraw to be ourselves and become warm again, as I did when I closed the windows and sat by the fire, protected from the damp, cold wind. Our senses are our windows to the world, and sometimes the wind blows through them and disturbs everything within us. Some of us leave our windows open all the time, allowing the sights and sounds of the world to invade us and penetrate us and expose our sad, troubled selves. We feel so lonely. We feel so cold, lonely, and afraid. Do you ever find yourself watching an awful TV program, unable to turn it off? Yes. The ruckus noises, explosions of gunfire are upsetting. Yet you don't get up and turn it off. Why do you torture yourself in this way? Don't you want to close your windows? Aren't you afraid? Solitude and emptiness and loneliness? You may find you face yourself alone. Watching a bad TV program, we become the TV program. We are what we feel and perceive. If we are angry, we are in the anger. If we are love, we are in the love. If we look at a snow-covered mountain peak, we are the mountain. We can be anything we want. So why do we open our windows to bad TV programs made by sensationalists, producers in search of easy money, programs that make your hearts pound or fist tightens and leave us exhausted? Who allows such TV programs to be made and seen by even the very young? We do. We are too undemanding, too ready to watch whatever is on the screen, too lonely, lazy, or bored to create our own lives. We turn on the TV and leave it on, allowing someone else to guide us, shape us, and destroy us. Losing ourselves in this way is leaving our fate in the hand of others who may not be acting responsibly. We must be aware of which programs do harm to our nervous systems, minds, hearts, and which programs benefit us. Of course, I'm not talking about only television. All around us, how many lures are set by our fellows and ourselves in a single day? How many times do we become lost and scattered because of them? We must be very careful to protect our faith and our peace. I'm not suggesting that we just shut all of our windows, for there are many miracles in the world we call outside. We can open our windows to these miracles and look at any one of them with awareness. This way, while sitting beside a clear flowing stream, listening to beautiful music, or watching an excellent movie, we need not lose ourselves entirely in the stream. the music or the film, we can continue to be aware of ourselves and our breathing. With the sun of awareness shining upon us, we can avoid most dangers. The stream will be pure, the music more harmonious, and the soul of the filmmaker completely visible. As beginning meditators, we may want to leave the city and go off to the countryside to help close those windows that trouble our spirit, that we can become one with the quiet forest and rediscover and restore ourselves without thinking swept away by the chaos of the outside world. The fresh and silent woods help us remain in awareness. And when our awareness is well rooted and we can maintain it without faltering, we may wish to return to the city and remain there less troubled. But sometimes we cannot leave the city, and we have to find the refreshing and peaceful moments that can heal us right in the midst of our busy lives. We may wish to visit a good friend who chooses to comfort us, or go for a walk in the park and enjoy the trees and the cool breeze. Whether we are in the city, the countryside, or the wilderness, we need to sustain ourselves by choosing our surroundings carefully and nourishing our awareness in each moment. 1 second, I'm going to pause. I need to take some notes. Okay. I cannot tell you how much this chapter means to me right now. Okay. Thich Nhat Hanh talks about nourishing your awareness in each moment. And he goes on to talk about how the windows, let me find that part, the windows to our senses, we open them to things. So he goes into the example that, he left the window open in his house, and when he came back, it was cold, and all the papers were splattered over the desk because of the wind, because of the wind, and he was really cold. But then he started a fire, and he brought the warmth back into the room. So this was a metaphor. He was saying, a lot of times everything in real life also represents metaphors, and metaphors represent real life. And a lot of times on this journey, we have to look at things that way, because our spirit guides tend to communicate to us in such a way. They'll show us a vision, they'll show us a metaphor, they'll show us a sign, a symbol, a picture. And if you look at it metaphorically, you'll get the answer or the message that your guide is trying to give you. So this metaphor for his house, he goes on to say right here, sometimes in a crowd, we feel tired, cold, and lonely. We may wish to withdraw to be by ourselves and become warm again. I did when I closed the windows and sat by the fire, protected from the damp, cold wind. Our senses are the windows to the world, and sometimes the wind blows through them and disturbs everything within us. Allowing the sights and sounds of the world to invade us, penetrate us, and expose our sad, troubled selves. Then he talks about how you go and you watch a program, and it's a program you can't turn off, and you really could do without seeing the program, but all of a sudden you're into it. It might be dramatic, it might be gossipy, and it just might be something that, you're bored, you just want to pass the time. But what we don't realize is every moment that we're watching the TV, we're exposing our senses we're opening our window to our senses, and we're not nourishing awareness in that moment. So as our senses, I'm going to stop right here. I had this ayahuasca experience, and I had got into this television show. In fact, last year when I kind of, was going through my thing and kind of up and down and falling off the vibration I was on, I was watching an insane amount of TV. It's something I did in the past. I used to watch a lot of TV. So when you guys know about my journey story where I went to church, and, the church was so strict. I couldn't do anything to have fun. I couldn't meet people, make friends. We just had this strong belief system. And I remember being so bored, I took to watching TV, and I would just watch shows and shows back to back television. I would binge watch, and I would watch horror movies and stuff like that. And I after my awakening and stuff, I completely stopped altogether. But last year when my vibration fell low, I think it started around the time when I went to Florida. I was really bored. I didn't have a car because of that situation. So I started watching TV. And I was watching The Walking Dead, and The Walking Dead is so addicting to me. And then it started from that, and then I looked for another show every time I was finished. And I started to realize things. And I remember I took ayahuasca, and I was watching the show iZombie, and right before I was just like binging that show out. And I took ayahuasca that week, and ayahuasca, I was really disappointed at myself that in ayahuasca my vision showed the show and the actors, and they were like, when you're on ayahuasca, it's kind of like a movie. You're inside a movie playing, and the characters are around you and all of that. And I was looking like, what the heck? How did you guys invade my mind, right? And this is exactly what it. This is exactly what he said. Where did he say? Allowing our sights and sounds in the world to invade us, penetrate us, and expose our sad, troubled selves. I really want to put emphasis on pointing that out, because anything we watch is slowly programming us. See, the television there is here to program us. There's forces at work that even the TV is called your regularly scheduled program. The more you watch it, ideas pop into your subconscious mind, and they will begin to manifest. So in ayahuasca, I was having the visions of the television show, and I was like, no, 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 I don't want to vision of that. And I stopped the vision, and then all of a sudden, ayahuasca, she started to show me these infinite stairs that were twirling all the way up. And when I saw the stairs, another layer of graphics covered the stairs, and then another layer, and it just kept going and over. And she said, layers and layers of programming, layers and layers of programming. She just kept saying it over. She was telling me, look, you're spending all this time in TV, you're putting layers of programming. And that's exactly what you're doing, because you see, I started to notice when I would watch like a gossipy show, I would get really into it, but I would also see all that gossip energy. I would see unconscious people doing things that I thought I was finding entertaining, but then I started to think about, look at what I'm finding entertaining. This goes against everything that I want to be. I don't want to have some of gossipy shows about rich people doing trying to get the latest this and doing each other, backstabbing each other. And I started to think, this is not the life I want to manifest. And so I made a point to cut off that show. And I just was like, I'm not doing the gossip shows anymore, because that stuff seeks in your subconscious mind. Our subconscious is so sensitive. It cannot tell the difference between fact and fiction, between reality and what you see in front of you. So if you see a TV show, you see how you can see a show that might be sad and you get emotional and tear up and start crying. You see, why are we getting sad? Because to the subconscious mind, that is reality. That's how we can change our subconscious mind, when we visualize what we want in our lives. And so it's really, really important. So when you're really, and I'm speaking to myself because that's been part of my problem, and I've been afraid to admit that. But I decided to take this journey, to be honest, and I'm not going to lie. A lot of times I was lazy. I was home. I got into a show and I couldn't turn the TV off. I had to see what was going to happen next. I had to see what was going to happen. And it would be a show I didn't even really care about that much. But I got so into it that, when they have you on the edge of your seat, you just want to know what happens. And so what I was doing is I was penetrating and invading my mind, which was was contributing to the lower vibration I was in. And even now, ever since, I started this journey with this book and stuff, I have to say I've made a significant difference. I'm trying to cut it off, like not watch it in the daytime so I can get stuff done. And that's a shift I had to make. And now I'm going to probably have to make another shift. And after reading this, I'm really starting to see, everything that I'm doing here to help you guys and service to you guys and to raise my vibration, the universe is systematically working with me to show me what I need to do to lift up my vibration and to get back on my path in my spiritual journey. And so, okay, watching the TV here, we become, so it goes on to talk how we become the TV program. We are what we feel, and we are what we perceive. And so when you're in nature, that's why you feel so good when you're in nature and in front of the sun, in front of a beautiful tree. It feels really good because guess what? You become the tree. You become the sun. You become a beautiful day when that's what you're feeding yourself. But feed yourself something that doesn't mark that low vibration. So you kind of got to look at it this, that everything in your life has an acidic or alkaline property. And if it has an acidic property, it's probably invading you in the wrong way or penetrating you in the wrong way, or but if it's more alkaline, that means it's good for you. Okay, so the sun, nature, yeah, that's good for you. Or finding a conscious television show that talks about, astral travel or spiritual awakening or the cosmos or something like that. That is going to be what you're going to become about. Once you're really into it, you're going to start gravitating to things like that in your life. So imagine that if you're watching all like negative stuff. I always felt like kind of low vibrational after watching like maybe a violent show or a lawyer show, or I really hate crime shows. So for that reason, okay, we open our windows to bad TV programs. So as he said, our windows are our senses. So when we're turning on the television, we're open up our windows to bad TV programs. And he goes on to say, made by sensationalist producers in search for easy money, programs that make our hearts pound, our fists tighten, and leave us exhausted. So it's exhausting us. So if I'm watching TV all day, then I'm sure in the hell too lazy to do anything else. So I am getting exhausted by just sitting there. And he also says that, let me see, we are undemanding, too ready to watch whatever is on the screen, too lonely, lazy, or bored to create our own lives. So what we're not doing when we're not nourishing our awareness in the present moment of what we're doing, that means we're being too bored to create our own lives. We're not creating our lives because we're allowing some type of program. We're allowing our senses to be invaded, invaded by things that's not good for our soul. So with this, you must be aware of which programs that harm your nervous systems, your mind, your heart, and which programs that benefit us. So if you go to watch a television show, you ask yourself, is this show going to benefit me, or is it going to harm my nervous system and my mind? Is it going to have me traumatized by seeing something negative happen, seeing something painful, seeing something violent? Like, this is nourishing your awareness in the present moment. You want to shift your vibration? This is part of the journey. And that, like I said, I'm talking to myself. So we must be very careful to protect our faith and our peace. Let's see. Okay. We can open our windows to these miracles and look at any one of them with awareness. This way, while even sitting beside a clear flowing stream, listening to beautiful music, watching an excellent movie, we need not to lose ourselves entirely in the stream, the music, or the film. We continue to be aware of ourselves and our breathing. Okay, what else here? And then it says, okay. As beginning meditators, we may want to leave the city and go out to the countryside to help close those windows that trouble our spirit. So if you're in a beginning meditator and, it's kind of hard to control the senses, when you're first becoming awakened and conscious, it might be hard to kind of just turn things off right away. It does take a while. It takes some time to get to that point. So what he's suggesting, what Thich Nhat Hanh is suggesting is, let's see, Go off to countries to that trouble our spirit. Okay. As beginning meditators, we may want to leave the city and go off to the countryside to help close those windows that trouble our spirit. There we can become one with the forest and discover and restore ourselves without being swept away by the chaos of the outside world. So like I said, when you watch a TV show and you take on the persona of what's going on in that TV show, you're becoming one with that. Okay, so you think about your energy. You think about how important your energy is to be protecting. And you think about, do I want to become one with this? Okay, and when you think about taking a day out at a quiet forest in nature, how does that sound to become one with nature? That's an alkaline property. An acidic property is watching a violent TV show or a TV show that just doesn't benefit you. Okay, the fresh, silent woods help us remain in awareness. So that hanging out in nature is going to help you remain in awareness. All right, this is a long video. I'm going to hurry up and get this part done. But sometimes the peaceful elements that can heal us right in the midst of our busy day. Sometimes we cannot leave the city, but we have to find the refreshing, peaceful elements that can heal us right in the midst of our busy lives. So, it's up to you to find what can heal you on a busy day, a peaceful element, okay, in your life. When you're at home, if you're too far from nature, you can find those things. Maybe you have a plant and you want to focus on your plant, sing to your plant, water your plant. Maybe you want to take your dog for a walk, your kids to the park. Watching children play is like the most beautiful thing. You see their playful spirits. They don't have all this programming and control. They just want to have fun. And to be honest, that's how our spirits are before we get here in this low vibrational state of this human body. And it also suggests we may wish to visit a good friend that can comfort us, or go for a walk in a park, or enjoy trees or a cool breeze. So here's some examples. If you have a good friend, it's great to spend time with a good friend. You sit down, you talk, you catch up, and if it's a friend that resonates with you spiritually, you can have a profound conversation about consciousness. And we need to sustain ourselves by choosing our surroundings and carefully nourishing our awareness in each moment. So this whole chapter is about nourishing our awareness in each moment. So after listening to this, I want you guys all, and I will do too, is I want us to start focusing on what we're nourishing our awareness. Like, what are we feeding our senses? What are we opening our windows to? So with that being said, that's the end of this video. Thank you for watching. Peace and love. Namaste.